I want to talk about Oregon football. Can Oregon make it into the college football playoffs this season? Now, Oregon is a team that I think definitely is in that Texas A&M UNC discussion as a team that has kind of entered that college football playoff discussion, that they have enough talent to be a legitimate college football playoff contender. And Oregon has been stacking great recruiting classes for over the last couple of years. Like, they've had a lot of good recruiting classes. Now, I think that this is the season that if they're going to make a run at the college football playoffs, they should be able to put it all together, okay? You have a lot of talent on defense. You have edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau, who probably could be the number one overall pick in next year's 2022 NFL draft. You have Noah Sewell, you have Isaac Slade, you have Maze Funa, you have Justin Flo, you have arguably the best and deepest linebacking core in all of college football. Now, you have star cornerback Mykael Wright, and the secondary isn't bad. It just, it's a little bit more wrinkles that need to be figured out. But overall, you should have one of the most athletic and most freakishly talented defenses in all of college football this year. Now, when you look at the offense, is the offense going to be able to get into the college football playoffs? Because that's really where my biggest concern lies with Oregon. I'm not really concerned about the defense. I think Oregon's defense definitely is going to be capable of getting this team into the college football playoffs. And a lot of people have to remember, college football has changed. A lot of people think you have to have elite defense and all this. That's not true anymore. A lot of people have to understand that back in 2011, you need to have a great defense to win in college football. You could win with an average offense or below average offense as long as you had the elite defense. That's changed. Now you have to have a great offense if you want to be able to make it into the college football playoffs. So Oregon's offense definitely has to have a tremendous sign of growth this season if they want to be a legitimate college football team. Now you have Anthony Brown at quarterback. He has been around the block for a while. He's been in college football for over the last couple of years. Normally, I remember him when he was a starting QB for Boston College, and I think he's a good enough QB to get them to the college football playoffs. He kind of reminds me a lot of Ian Book in a sense. Like, he's not like an elite QB when it comes to, the college football hierarchy of quarterbacks, but he's definitely a very good QB. He's an above average QB who can get you there. He's really dynamic in the run game. He has a pretty good arm. He's pretty good when it comes to his decision making, and on top of that, he's going to be thrown to one of the best receiving cores in all of college football. You have super seniors and Johnny Johnson, who had 19 receptions last year, 267 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Redd caught 25 receptions, which I believe led the team last year, 281 receiving yards and a touchdown. You have Devin Williams, who is 6'5", 205 pounds, who could have a breakout year. He has great size, great speed downfield. He could be an incredible downfield deep target for Anthony Brown, or a really good red zone target. Then you have CJ Verdell, Travis Dye there, which is a really good 1-2 punch. Probably one of the more underrated running back duos in college football. CJ Verdell ran for 285 rushing yards last year, 4.4 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. Travis Dye had 443 rushing yards last year and a touchdown. So you have a really good running back combo there. Now, your offensive line last year, your offensive line is going to be your biggest question mark, because last year your offensive line was decent. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was decent. This year, I think this offensive line could go from decent to really good. Now, you got to remember, Mario Cristobal used to be an offensive lineman for Miami, so he is somebody who is really good with, improving the offensive line. So when he has that offensive line label, I expect the offensive line to continue to be really good. So I don't think the offensive line should struggle that much. So when you look at the offense is going to be the biggest deciding factor in determining if Oregon can make it into the college football playoffs or not. Me personally, I think that Oregon is definitely a playoff caliber football team, and I do think they can get in. I have gotten a lot of criticism from a lot of people when I said that Oregon could be what Clemson is in the ACC. And a lot of people misinterpret that. A lot of people think I'm saying Oregon is Clemson, Oregon's better than Clemson. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you look at how Clemson has dominated the ACC for over the last couple of years, I think Oregon could have that kind of grasp on the Pac-12, because remember, Oregon is recruiting at a really high level, and there's not really any program in the Pac-12 right now that I think is recruiting on the level of Oregon. USC hasn't really been recruiting at the level of Oregon until, recently. You got UCLA, you got Washington. Like, there's not really any program in the Pac-12 right now that's really giving Oregon a legitimate run for their money in recruiting right now. So you look at how Oregon has dominated recruiting and the talent that they're going to be putting on the field over the next 2-3 years. I think that Oregon has potential that they could be so good that the competition in the Pac-12 just really isn't going to be all that close, and there's going to be a large gap between Oregon and the rest of the teams in the Pac-12, similar to what happened with Clemson, okay? Clemson was out recruiting pretty much everybody in the ACC. All they really had to worry about was FSU. Well, once FSU started to go down the drain, that's when Clemson really started to have a firm grasp on the ACC, and that's why they are as dominant as what they are right now. Similar thing with Ohio State. So I think that we definitely could see Oregon kind of have a dominating run in the Pac-12 like we have seen Clemson have in the ACC in terms of how great they've been recruiting and how the other programs compare, because recruiting is one of the most important things in college football. If you cannot recruit pretty much everybody in your conference, you're going to be the best team in your conference. So talent really matters a lot when it comes to determining how effective and how dominant you're going to be in your conference. So I look at Oregon. I definitely feel like Oregon can dominate the Pac-12 like how Clemson has dominated the ACC. And I only think that it's a matter of time before it happens. But in terms of this year, like, I feel like this is the year that Oregon should be able to put it all together. Some people felt like last year was the season that Oregon could make it into the college football playoffs. But with COVID going on and everything like that, I just didn't really see it happening. So I think that this is the year that if Oregon is going to make a run, I think that this is it. You have a freakishly talented defense with a lot of players who are going to be playing on Sundays, a lot of players who are going to end up being drafted in the first round. Like, Oregon right now is a juggernaut. This is a really talented team. It just depends on how improved this offense is going to be. And right now, from what I'm looking like on paper, I'm really high on this Oregon offense. Now, Oregon's offense probably isn't going to be, one of the best in college football, but it's definitely going to be really good, especially when you look at Anthony Brown's ability to run with the football. Tyler Shaw also was pretty good when it came to running the football as well, but I think Anthony Brown is a more dynamic runner in terms of what he's able to do with the ball in his hands. He's a little bit more creative of a runner compared to Tyler Shaw, who is now with Texas Tech. So you look at Anthony Brown, he has a lot of experience. He has a lot of experience in big games. He has a lot of experience going on the road. So I look at Oregon right now. I definitely feel like this is the team who could end up surprising a lot of people and finally cracking the mold of being able to get into the college football playoffs. And a lot of you guys may not remember because it seems like this took place like centuries ago, but Oregon actually was in the first college football playoffs when they destroyed FSU. So, I mean, Oregon isn't really new to the college football playoffs, but it just has been a while since we've seen a team from the Pac-12 get in. So, I believe that Oregon definitely has the talent of being able to make it into the college football playoffs. The question is this offense going to be better this year in terms of being able to have a college football playoff offense? Because I'm not worried about the defense. It all comes down to the offense, because at this day and age of college football, can you be able to score 30 points? Because that's what it takes to be able to be a championship caliber football team. Can you score 30 points? How are you going to hold up front? I definitely feel like Oregon checks most of those boxes. I'm still trying to figure out how improved this offense is going to be. But from what I see right now, I definitely feel like Oregon is a college football contending team that definitely should be a team that could get in. So you guys let me know how you guys feel about Oregon down in the comment section down below. Do you guys feel that Oregon is going to be able to make it into the college football playoffs this season in 2021?